Childhood Assessment, Birth to 8 years. Andrea Lewis CFS 294, Fall 2010, Western Kentucky University. Assessment in Early Childhood. What is assessment? According to Wortham, assessment is the process of gathering information about children from several forms of evidence, then organizing and interpreting that information. The purpose for assessment is to promote children's learning and development, to identify children for health and social services, monitoring trends and evaluating programs and services, assessing academic achievement to hold individual students. The principles for early childhood assessment are to benefit the child, tailored to specific purpose, and should be reliable, valid, and fair. Policies should be designed recognizing that reliability and validity of assessments increase with children's age. It should be age appropriate in both content and the method of data collection. Linguistically appropriate. Parents should be a valued source of assessment. I interviewed 4 people. I interviewed an early Head Start teacher, a speech therapist, a special education teacher, and a parent for my 4 interviews. The first interview was Missy Lyons, Children's Service Coordinator for Scroggin Park Child Development Center. This center is an early Head Start program for 3 to 4-year-olds who are income eligible. The tool that Missy Lyons uses to assess her children are Brigance. It takes 10 minutes to administer. It asks questions such as their name, where they live, ask the children to count, ask their colors, and etc. The curriculum she uses is creative assessment, 50-50, 50 notes, 50 objectives. Measures cognitive, language, writing, and cutting. Children are assessed by teacher 3 times a year, pre, med, and post. She uses ages and stages, which is a mental health behavior. Parents fill out a form at the beginning of the year to help her know what to expect of the child. English and Spanish is both used in the classroom for songs, labels, the newsletter, and correspondence. Parent involvement is parent committee. Parents volunteers. They observe home visits and plan activities. The second person I interviewed was Michelle Barnes, a speech therapist at Southern Elementary School. Her education is a master's in science. The tool she uses is Speech Sounds, Goldman Fristow, and Language Self 4. It is administered every 3 years, and children are assessed every 2 weeks. The age range for Goldman is 2 to 21 years, and Self 4 is 5 to 21 years. Speech placement is based on test scores, class observation, and teacher input. She works with children 1 to 2 days a week for 30 minutes, and some children 3 times a week for 5 to 10 minutes. There's a Spanish edition of Self. Parent involvement is ARC meetings and consent. Resources for teachers, communication report, and IEP. The domain areas that she looks for is speech, sound, production, language, expressive, receptive, and fluency. Katie Williams is occupation is special education teacher at Southern Elementary School. Her education includes a bachelor's of early childhood education, a master's of special education. She has 5 years experience in regular elementary education and 3 years in special education. The tool she uses to assess children is DAL-3, Developmental Indicators for the Assessment of Learning, a nationally standardized test according to the child's age. It takes 20 minutes to administer. The ages of her children that she administers is 4 to 7-year-olds, which is kindergarten to 1st grade. She administers the test when a child is not making progress in the regular education room and interventions have been in place for at least 6 weeks and the child is not making progress. She works with children daily depending on the IEP. Parent involvement is ARC meetings, conferences, and daily behavior charts for each child. The last person I interviewed is a single parent of a 4-year-old. He is income eligible. His name is Clinton Brown III. His child was assessed at Georgetown Readiness Preschool 3 times during the year, in the beginning, the middle, and the end of the year. The tool used to assess his child was DAL-3. His expectations for his daughter was that she would perform well beyond her age. He expects that she will be tested on what she knows rather than what she doesn't know. He is involved in the classroom. He is involved in the conferences to discuss testing goals and results. Volunteer and monthly training for parents. The end. I want to give a special thanks to Michelle Barnes, Clinton Brown, Katie Williams, and Missy Lyons.